Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal channel. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. So it's confirmed for sure Arsenal will be signing a left winger this summer. And Andre Bata has done the due diligence. He's talked to over 20 players in that position and is still talking to more players. Now, what I want us to do in this video is determine what Arsenal are actually looking for and which players actually have those qualities. So, according to Mikel Arteta, this is what he would want from his attackers in this summer. One, the ability to create chances, creativity, the ability to be available, which is availability is the best ability. He wants players that are not injury prone. Also, he wants players that can finish off chances because Mikel said we cannot rely on the number of goals that we have at the moment. We need to add more goals. And then we'll talk about versatility. Can this player play across different positions? For me, that is the typical player Arsenal would sign as a left winger for Mikel Arteta. Versatile, has got pace, is very creative and clinical in front of goal. So Andre Bata is talking to over 20 players, but of those 20, who have got these qualities. Also, there is a story that has come out from the Athletic, reported by Ghana blog, and they're saying that Arsenal could actually be looking to sign a left winger and also sign an attacking midfielder. Now, that is very important to this video because it changes absolutely everything. If Arsenal want to sign an attacking midfielder, a versatile attacking midfielder, and also sign a left winger, then that means that we don't have to bundle all the qualities we want on the two positions in one player. What Arsenal can do is we can go and sign one player that typically fulfills Mikel Arteta's qualifications for a winger and sign another who fulfills Mikel Arteta's qualifications as an attacking, versatile player, right? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Let's get into the players Andre Bata has talked to and let's see how well they do in terms of our rankings. You can also let me know your opinion in the comment box below. Let's start off with Mohamed Kudus, right? Let me start off with Mohamed Kudus. And for me, Mohamed Kudus, in terms of creativity, pace, goals, and versatility, he's one of the best that we are going to talk about on this list. He's such a very all-round player. He's such a very, good player, in my opinion. Premier League proven, by the way, as well. That is very important to Mikel Arteta. But if we are going to rate Kudus on this scale, let's start off with pace. I think there was that iconic goal that is scored for West Ham. Was it in the Europa League or in the Conference League? I think it was in the Conference League, right? When he picked up the ball from the middle of the park and drove with a lot of pace, and he's just beating players one after the other and finishes beautifully. I don't think Kudus has a problem with pace. In terms of running without the ball, excellent. In terms of running with the ball, absolutely excellent. And then in terms of creativity, this is where his problem would be. I think he's more of a selfish player rather than a selfless player. And I was told in football, being selfish is not bad as long as you know when to do it. Look at a player like Erling Haaland. He knows that he's the last man and he's on the last line. He doesn't have to look for runners. He doesn't have to look for others. When he gets the ball, he wants to finish. Now, Mohamed Kudus, of course, is playing as when you consider his versatility, he can play as a midfielder, he can play as an attacking midfielder, he can play as a left winger, right winger. I think he needs to increase his creative numbers. In terms of goals, I don't have a problem with Kudus. He does score goals. He's a very clinical player, and I think he can improve in that area, but he is a clinical player, and I think he has improved that aspect of his game when he came in at West Ham. Versatility, he can play about 3 positions: left wing, right wing, and in that kind of attacking midfield. Can you play him as a false 9? He's too passive for me to play as a false 9, so I think he can play in 3 positions. And on this list, I have him as one of the best options Arsenal could go for. And then Marcus Rashford. Now, I want to judge Marcus Rashford based on what we are looking at, right? Rashford's biggest problem is consistency. He's a good player, but his problem is consistency. So I'm going to put him in average, and I'm going to explain why. I'm going to put him in average, right? The reason that's why I've gone with Marcus Rashford as average, in terms of pace, he's got the pace, right? But you must be able to use that pace productively. I think he's one of those players that can run, but end up doing nothing with the ball. Number 2, creativity. I think he's more of a goal scorer than a creative player. And I don't think that his creative part of the game can actually be increased. I think he's one of those selfish players that are so frustrating to watch, right? Like, he's so full of himself. He wants to finish off all the chances he gets. He's a selfish player, and at times it works out, and when it doesn't, it is so frustrating. Goals, I think in front of goal, Rashford is a good player, by the way. I think in terms of numbers, he can't score goals, right? And I think there was an argument by Manchester United fans and a couple of other fans as well around football that he could play as a number 9. Versatility, can play as a 9, can also play as a left winger. Can he play on the right? I don't think so. I think he prefers to be on the left rather than on the right. So it's not a very versatile player. You can understand why I've put him on average rather than good. Okay. And then let's move over to Bryan Mbeumo. This is going to surprise you, right? This is going to surprise you. But for me, Bryan Mbeumo is one of the best options Arsenal have considered in this window. Absolutely brilliant option. In terms of his numbers, no one can doubt. Actually, Thomas Frank talked about it. And he said, if he's going to leave Brentford, I hope he leaves for good money. Because you don't get so many players that score those amount of goals and record those numbers, about 19 goals for Brentford, a mid-table team. You don't get so many players like that. And he's not a striker, by the way. So in terms of numbers, goals, tick. Creativity, tick as well. Versatility, can play as a 9. He can play as a right midfielder. He can play as a right winger. He can also play as a left winger. Again, he ticks the boxes on versatility. Now, the question would be on pace, right? I have not seen him run like from the center to goal. But when he's closer to goal, he's devastating. There was a goal that was going around online, and he gets the better of Milos Kerkez, right? So a ball is played into Bryan Mbeumo, and he flicks it, and Kerkez is completely destroyed. And by the time Kerkez recovers, Mbeumo is coming back. He's celebrated, and he's coming back. So in terms of pace, I think he would have what Arsenal need. But if you asked me, if I look at Saka's numbers in terms of pace, right? If I look at Saka's statistics in terms of pace, I want someone who's so faster than Saka. Maybe that's where Mbeumo doesn't excel. But for me, one of the best options Arsenal have considered for left wing. And then we move over to Ada Goulet. Creativity, goals, pace, versatility. For me, Ada Goulet is a poor option. If Arsenal really discussed him as one of the players that can actually play on the left wing, he's a poor option. But I would understand why. There is a trend that Mikel Arteta was trying to jump onto, and it burnt him. The trend was started by this guy, Pep Guardiola. He can play a midfielder on the wing. Like we have seen Bernardo Silva, we have seen Phil Foden, and then it works out, right? Ada Goulet could be that creative. He is creative. He does score goals, by the way, as well. Shoots from outside the penalty area. I love that part of his game as well. Very versatile. Can play as a 10, can play on the wings, can play in false 9, can play as a number 8. Very versatile. But for me, it's the pace. It's the pace. Why I want Ada Goulet to be off this list is the pace. I want a pacey left winger. When Arsenal are facing a mid block and there is a lot of space in behind, and we unleash Sesko and we unleash a very quick winger, it's gonna be devastating for teams. And of course, as a winger, the winger is running and Sesko is running as well. You have Saka arriving and Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard all arriving at the edge of the penalty area. it's going to be a devastating encounter for Tim. So Adegule, I'm sorry, I like him. He's a good player. I wanted him as a creative number 10, not actually as a left winger. Xavi Simmons, one of the best you can get. One of the best you can get on the market for that role. Xavi Simmons, unlike the other players that we could talk about, is not as pacey as well, but I would take him. Now, the reason as why I would take Xavi Simmons is his numbers. Like, he's got that midfield-like mentality of, I'm a creator, I've got to create chances. And then he's got that forward-like mentality of goal scoring. He's insane. He's absolutely insane. Would I take Xavi Simmons over Šeško from Leipzig if I had to choose one? I'm sorry, yeah. I'm sorry. I like Xavi Simmons, and I think the ceiling for this guy is absolutely very high. Yeah, I'll take Simmons, great player. In terms of versatility, right wing, left wing, number 10, can play in the number 8, can play as a forward, like I can play as a false 9, or even a real 9. Maybe not a real 9, but a false 9, right? Kind of just Fabregas' role at Barca and Spain. In terms of pace, he doesn't have, right? He wouldn't help Arsenal's cause in terms of mid blocks. Creativity, tick. Goals, tick as well. He would come in and he would give us some very good numbers. Okay, Eberechi Eze. Well, this one for the left wing, right? Just for the left wing. I don't know where to put Eze because his numbers are insane. I'm mad at Crystal Palace. His numbers last season have been absolutely mad. So where do I put Eberechi Eze, really? Average or good? If I put him in average, I'm going to be attacked because I like him. But because I know Arsenal want to sign an attacking midfielder, I prefer this guy as the versatile attacker rather than the left winger. And because that is simply because Eze doesn't have the pace and is not a winger. As simple as that. Like you can play him as an 8, as a 10. You can play him as a wing, of course. Very versatile. He ticks many of the boxes on this list. But in terms of pace, sheer raw pace, I think he's closer to Saka. Like he wants to get the ball in flat-footed situations, and because he knows he's got that ability to create magic, even if he doesn't have a head start. He can beat a player, he can move bodies, even if you don't give him a hard start. So for me, for a left winger, he would be an average option, but overall, in terms of attacking players Arsenal should get, definitely up there. Kamitoma, definitely up there. The problem with Kamitoma might be the age, right? Maybe it's the age. He's getting older and he's becoming more injury prone and maybe less reliable. But if you added Kamitoma's numbers, like he's one of those players that are capable of giving you 15 goals and 15 assists in one season. And let's not forget, Kamitoma can hit it with the right foot and hit it with the left foot. Kamitoma can just move through players. Like, Arsenal just don't have that ability. We need a player that doesn't... we need a player that plays in fuck you mode. A player that just wakes up and goes through players. Eden Hazard did that for Chelsea. I was absolutely envious of them having such a player. For us, I think the best we've ever had has been just Fabregas. He wouldn't go through you, but he would make the ball go through you, even if you want or not. And of course, Mesut Ozil. But with Mitoma, I think Mitoma is a quality player. He's versatile, can play on both wings, right? Pace, he's got it. Ability to beat a player, he's got it. Creative, he's got it. And then scoring goals, clinical in front of goal, he's got that as well. Okay. Then, Jadon Sancho. For me, Jadon Sancho is just a poor option. I don't know whether I'm right, but Jadon Sancho is just a poor option. And this is not my bias with the fact that he's flopped at Chelsea and Man United. But I think Jadon Sancho thrives in systems that give him a lot of freedom. And I don't think Arsenal is a system that gives you a lot of freedom. We know that Mikel Arteta has cost some players their performances, especially Martinelli, Odegaard. because they don't play with enough freedom. They don't play with a lot of freedom, right? So I don't think Sancho would get the freedom that he actually wants. He's got the pace. He's got the ability to beat a man. His numbers are fluctuating. Like, you really cannot tell. In the past 3 years, we have not seen enough for me to say, go and get him. No, not enough. Not enough. Okay, and then Alejandro Ganacho, inconsistent. This is a poor trade for Arsenal. And why is that? Because we already have such a player that can give you those numbers in Gabriel Martinelli, right? I don't think this guy is better than Gabriel Martinelli, really. Also, Ganacho is bad at finishing. No. Ganacho's finishing over Martinelli's finishing, I'm not having it. Absolutely not. I am not having it. Ganacho, no. But he ticks some boxes. He's a pacey player. Creative, but he's too raw for my liking. He's too raw for my liking. Noni Madueke is average. Noni Madueke is average. He's between good and bad, right? One of the problems Enrique has is inconsistency as well. He has 1 good game and then 5 bad ones, and then 7 good games and then 11 bad ones. So he's very inconsistent. He's got the pace, can beat a man, but in terms of numbers, very inconsistent for us not to rely on. Anton Semenyo. Oh, God. Do I put Semenyo in good? Have we seen enough of Semenyo for us to put him in good, or should we go in average? But on the left wing, I'm going to put him in good. I'm sorry. Let me put him in good. I think he's a good player. I think Arsenal just need to, if you signed him, you just need to figure out what his superpowers are, and then you would have a lot out of him. It's the same with Anthony Gordon. Super player, top player. He's got the wings. He's got the pace on the wings. Can score goals, create chances. You've got to find his abilities, and everything will work out. Morgan Rogers as a left winger. This one is excellent. For me, this one is excellent. He's got the pace. He's he's a classic. He's a classic English midfielder. He can play on the wings very well, in the number 10 very well, in the number 8 very well. I would take Morgan Rogers on the left wing in a heartbeat. I know Arsenal really would love to sign a left winger, but I would have Morgan Rogers and Eze in the same team, and I would get results. Rodrigo, the best you can get. The best you can. That is all I'm going to say. The best you can get. Bradley Bacola, one of the best you can get. Because Bacola has a problem in terms of his finishing. Am I right? Or am I the only one that actually feels that way? Bacola is good. In terms of pace, in terms of creativity, he's good. But in terms of finishing, he's got to work on his game massively. Paxiao, this one is average for me. He's coming from Feyenoord. It's not a bad league, but you never know what's going to happen. Then Morgan Gibbs-White. Morgan Gibbs-White, as a left winger, I would take him, right? But I wouldn't really guarantee a lot. And then Zaire, this one is like a number 10. A number 10 who also likes to play on the right wing. He's a bit like Phil Foden, right? He's versatile. But for Arsenal's left wing demands, I would not really want him in there. So let me know if you agree with me on what I think of Arsenal's targets that we are talking to. And if you don't agree, respectfully, let me know in the comment box below.